Lossless scaling is an app on Steam that can basically double or triple your FPS for most any game. And with their latest major update, there have been a lot of key improvements, including better quality image, less flickering and border artifacts, more clarity and smoothness, a reduced load on your GPU, and what everybody's been wanting for a while now, improved latency. So today we'll go over how you can use this for yourself so that you can start getting the frames you deserve for your favorite games. So let's get started. Now, like I said before, you can get this on Steam, and right now this is going to cost you $7. But a $7 investment for doubling the frame rate on all the games you own, that's something worth putting your money into. There's a bunch of different scaling options that come included with this, which we'll get into in the main app, but we'll get started up by launching a game. For this example, we're using a Skyrim mod pack, and if you know anything about Skyrim mod packs, they take a hell of a lot of resources just to run. So lossless scaling comes in handy for situations like this. So we've loaded into our ultra modded Skyrim experience, and now we're going to go ahead and launch up the lossless scaling app. Now right now we're using the beta version, which is basically a cleaner UI interface. So if you want access to this, all you need to do is go over to your lossless scaling, right click it, go down to properties, hit the beta tab, and then in the beta participation, in this little drop down, you just click on that beta. Once you do this, your lossless scaling will update, and then you'll be greeted by this screen. So on the left hand side, you're able to make different profiles where you have customized settings for each. So if you need a little change up between games, you can switch between these profiles on the fly. You have a button on the top right hand corner, and this is the button you're going to press when you want to scale your game. Once you press it, you'll have 5 seconds to get to your game window, and then your game will automatically be getting that FPS boost. If you go to the settings as well, you'll be able to set a hotkey. So this is the default, and you're able to change that up on the fly. So I've actually put this hotkey onto a Stream Deck, so at the press of a button while I'm in game, I can automatically scale my game. Now we'll go over how to fine tune these settings to get you the most FPS. Under frame generation and type, we're going to go ahead and select LSFG 3.0. This is their newest version, offering the highest quality, the lowest artifacts, and the lowest latency in game. You can always check out the previous versions, as it could offer different benefits for some other games, but as a baseline, LSFG 3.0 is going to be your best bet. Now under mode and the drop down, you have X2, X3, X4, and then a custom mode where you're actually able to go up by times 20. The higher this number, the higher the load on your GPU is going to be. So this all depends on what your needs are, but X2 is going to be a good starting point because this is basically what's going to double your frame rate. Resolution scale is going to be the resolution of that generated frame. For example, we're on times 2, so we're generating an additional frame. This is going to be the resolution of that frame. Every game is going to look different, so feel free to fine tune this, but a good sweet spot is anywhere from 50 all the way up to 75. I like to keep mine somewhat in the middle at 65, but again, this is always adjustable. Capture AI will keep on DXGI, and then for cursor and crop input, we won't be touching these settings either. Now you can just run with these settings and see how your game feels without messing with any of the scaling options. But by enabling scaling, you can get some better resolution up to what your monitor can handle, so this could help refine your gaming experience a bit. My recommended scaling types are either LS1, FSR for some games, and then Snapdragon Game Super Resolution. This one was a recent addition to lossless scaling, and this is going to offer some of the best performance while maximizing the visual quality, all the while minimizing your memory usage, processor usage, and battery usage. So depending on your game, experiment with these 3 type scalings to see which one works best for you. But right now, for the current update of lossless scaling, Snapdragon Gaming Super Resolution is probably going to be your best bet. Now for mode, I let the app do its own thing, so we have auto and aspect ratio. You are able to set a custom resolution though, it just depends on your individual needs. But for the average user, auto is going to do you perfectly. For the rendering, we're going to leave VSync on, and this is just going to help you keep your performance as smooth as possible. So the frames that you do generate with this app, it's not going to go any higher than your own monitor's refresh rate. So you're not going to be generating any extra frames that aren't needed, keeping your processing power to a minimum. Now max frame latency is what dictates how many frames are stored in a queue. So again, depending on the game you're playing, you may need to increase this or just simply keep this at 2. But anywhere from 2 to 5 is a good starting point. The better hardware you have though, the higher you can put this number. You also have HDR support if you have a monitor that supports that. G-Sync support, and then draw FPS. We'll show you what this looks like in a bit, but this will basically tell you the FPS you have natively, and then on the side it'll tell you how much FPS you have with lossless scaling activated. You have the ability to change your GPU if you have multiple, and then change your output display if that's something you need. You also have support for multi-display mode, so if you're gaming on multiple monitors, you can activate this. So to summarize, we have LSFG 3.0, the mode we're using is X2, we have our resolution scale set to 65. Using the DXGI capture API, our scaling type is SGSR with a sharpening of 5. On mode, we're using auto and aspect ratio. VSync has been turned on. Max frame latency, we're going to keep that at 2. And then we have draw FPS on, just to see the value we're getting in game. Alright, so we have Skyrim booted up, and we're going to press the hotkey to get this scaling enabled. And as you can see in the top left hand corner of the screen, we are basically doubling our FPS, which if you're running ultra modded Skyrim, that is a blessing in disguise. And now hopping into Red Dead Redemption 2, you can again see we doubled our resolution. We even have everything set on ultra, and although our frames dropped, we are still doubling our frame rate while keeping it above 60 frames per second. So you definitely can't complain about that. Even those really chunky games such as Cyberpunk, we are doubling our frame rate with the max settings. And remember, you can always change your settings on the fly. So if we instead try the 4x mode, we are now basically getting 4 times the frames. The higher you do go though, the more latency you're going to feel. So single player games like Cyberpunk, you could easily get away with it, but games that you need a little bit more precision for, you're better off just by sticking with ×2. So go ahead and give lossless scaling a try. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Lossless scaling comes with frequent updates all of the time. And with the $7 price tag, you're definitely getting your money's worth. If you want to see even more guides like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Until next time though, we'll see ya.